Well, I'm Greg Stanton, mayor of this great city, the city of Phoenix. Thank you. As the great Art Hamilton just said, we are here to celebrate, to commemorate, but also to think about the work yet to be done. 50 years ago, great people, courageous people, 250,000 people driven on 2,000 buses from all parts of the United States of America gathered on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. To fight for what they believed in, to hear from some of the great speakers, leaders of our country, leaders in the history of the civil rights movement. Obviously, the most famous of those speeches was made by the great Dr. Martin Luther King, the famous "I Have a Dream" speech. And Dr. King is rightfully considered in our history one of the great civil rights and human rights leaders in the United States and world history. But civil rights is a team sport. And there were many other great leaders represented on that day because Dr. King knew he couldn't get it done alone. You had great leaders like Baird Rustin. You had great leaders like Philip Randolph, Whitney Young, Roy Wilkins, Congressman John Lewis, and so many more that bound together to make that day and to remind America of their better spirits, their better side, to ask America to look in the mirror and say, how can we be better? How can we improve? And I think we have come a long way. We all have to acknowledge that. But we still have a long way to go. And it's apropos that as we celebrate here today, we also put the same demand on ourselves to look in the mirror and to challenge ourselves to be better. Because we still live in a country and a state where women earn barely 2/3 the salaries of men. That's not acceptable. We still live in a country and state where our disabled brothers and sisters have unemployment rates well in excess of 50%. That's not acceptable to me. We live in a city and a state where under state law you can be fired from a job just because of your sexual orientation. That is not acceptable to me. I hope it's not acceptable to you. And we live in a state where a young person who came to this country as a baby can't even get a driver's license to go to school or to work. It is time for justice for our dreamers. It is time for justice for our immigrant community. Dr. King reminded us in his letter from a Birmingham jail, let's not wait for others. The time to be patient is over. The time is now. The time for justice is now. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the night.